Well, after nearly 3 years of the Milan mission, we could throw it all away today, completely blow it. We're playing Inter, we're playing Juventus. If we lose them both, we don't get into the Champions League. We almost certainly get sacked, and I have to think of a new series to do for the last few weeks of Football Manager 16. So let's hope we win, eh? Hello and welcome to part 24 of the Milan mission. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're away against Inter, we're at home against Juventus, and we're not doing very well in the league because we're 5 points behind Fiorentina, who are in the last Champions League qualification spot. We've only 6 games to go. So we basically have to beat the two teams who we know are better than us. We've still got to play Fiorentina as well. If we don't get into the Champions League after finishing second the last 2 years and spending over £200 million on players this season, surely I get sacked. The only thing going for us is the fact that we have got to the Champions League quarter-final again, so that's good. We're in the Italian Cup final, so that's completely indifferent and irrelevant to everybody, but we could win a trophy. And we're fairly secure in the Europa League spots. I think I'm going to get sacked. This is a team that we're trying against Inter. We are away, so we're going full-on Italian mode, and it hasn't worked the last 2 or 3 times we've done it. I don't know why. If it doesn't work today, we'll forget this and we'll just attack everybody from now on. But we are doing it one more time because it has worked against Inter before, most notably at this sort of point of last season when it was one of the things that turned our season around right at the last minute and allowed us to have that last minute surge up to second place. That was ever so exciting. If you haven't seen last season, you've got to go back and watch it. It was one of the best seasons of Football Manager I've ever played. So in goal, we've got Timo Horner, back four of George, Romagnoli, Zuma and Little Gomez because Makey is suspended. So Little Gomez, despite being the villain of the Champions League, has in fact got at least one more AC Milan start under his belt since. Danilo and Bazoa are then going to anchor the midfield with Mauri in front of them, and then Bonaventura and Niang supporting Benzema up front because Carlos Bacca is injured, if I remember. Carlos Bacca has picked up an injury. He's going to be out for most of the rest of the season. He might be back in time for the cup final. And Ayose, I was going to say he doesn't score a lot of goals, but looking at that, he's done all right, isn't he? But he's not in great form at the moment, so we'll try Benzema today. You know, we paid nearly £30 million for him as a 6-month stopgap. We probably need to use him. Of course, the players are going to keep their heads. There's not a single player in this team who has a history for crazy, rash nonsense. That isn't my Lasse Viggen Christensen. Oh, it's Lasse Viggen Christensen. He's playing for Juventus. For Inter, sorry. Oh, if you haven't watched Non-League to Legend, you won't know why I'm so sad at seeing him play against us. He was one of the heroes of Non-League to Legend at Ipswich. Part of me wants to let him win. He was our captain for so long. They're playing him in the right position as well, as that sort of free man in midfield to go and just wreak havoc. I mean, he wouldn't be good enough for us. I don't know how he's good enough for Inter, but he was very good for Ipswich. Look at that. He's the fittest player on the pitch as well. How's he managed that? Why is everyone else so shattered so early in the game? I mean, really, we should be winning today. Look at our fitness. Look at their fitness. What's been going on at Inter? That's just weird. Oh, Mauri just ever so slightly overhit, and Danilo was almost in. You probably haven't seen him play very much because he's not been playing in the Champions League because he's been ineligible. Very good midfield player. He's the reason Camacho probably won't be here next season because Danilo is next level awesomeness as a defensive midfield player. Benzema, can he weave some magic? He finds Bonaventura, forces a save from the keeper, and they get across for a scrappy clearance. I am wondering whether we should try and attack Inter a little bit to take advantage of the fact that they're so tired. I just don't understand how all their conditions are so low and ours are so high. We've not played for a week. I know I often rest my players and stuff, and people have asked before why I rest players. That's why, so that doesn't happen. But I haven't rested them this week because we haven't played for a week. So they didn't need a rest. So who have Inter been playing? They're not in the Champions League anymore. Are they in the Europa League late stages, maybe? That must be it, presumably. So, I don't know, perhaps at what point do we just try and push on and nick a win? Because, look, they're getting tireder and tireder. it's got to get to a point where we decide to just attack them and try and nick an incredibly valuable win. Oh, Gordon Bennett Zuma, I thought was setting it up on a plate for their striker to tuck away. That would have been upsetting. Fiorentina are 4 points ahead of us at the moment. We've got to get the win today. Inter look like they're dropping off from Juventus now. Juventus have taken their battering of us in the Champions League and used that as a motivator to finally pull out a little bit of a gap between them and Inter. I think this will be like the 9th year in a row or something ridiculous that they've won Serie A. If by some miracle I manage to keep my job, we've got to go and win the league next year. And the amount of money that we're spending and the quality of the players that we've got, we really should be challenging at that end of the table. Not sat here yet again, 5 games from the end of the season, stressing about whether or not we're going to get in the Champions League. It's just silly. We must be exerting more energy than Inter are in this game, because our energy levels and condition are dropping much faster than theirs, to the point where it's almost even now. I don't understand how that's happened. Are they just sitting there and letting us run around? Are they doing proper Italian and we're just doing an Englishman's version of Italian? Right, let's get Jose on. Have we got anyone who can play wide? Not really. Niang could move across though, so let's swap Bonaventura with Niang, and because I know we've got Honda who can come on and play on the right hand side, make him a playmaker. So we're now playing wingerless. Got an inside forward and an advanced playmaker. But Jose, hopefully he can just nip in, get a chance. I mean, look, he's almost twice as fit as any of their defenders. This has got to be the time where we go and nick a winner, surely. Although a draw is not disastrous. It's not disastrous ever to go away to Inter and draw. It is, in the context of what we need to do, not a particularly helpful result. Let's get Lazar on. Just again, a bit more energy down that left-hand side. Might get himself forward into a crossing position for Jose, maybe. But, I mean, this has just been a really boring Italian football match, hasn't it? And it's going to be potentially devastating for our season. Right, Jose finds Romagnoli. I don't know why he's got the ball there. Bazoa is going to be a bit more useful. They've got a player sent off now. So we've got the last 7 minutes against 10 men. Honda, please score the free kick. Oh, I thought that had gone in. If that had gone in, I was going to change nothing. Now it hasn't. I think we need to go and attack them for the last few minutes. Have we got anyone who can play there, though? Bazoa surely can play everywhere, can't he? No. Can Danilo play it? Danilo can-ish. So let's make him. There you go. He becomes an attacking player. Swap those two over. This might be stupid, but we're playing against a really tired 10 men for the last 5 minutes. We've got to go and try and win the match. Right, Honda into Niang. Oh! So, I mean, we've now had 2 clear-cut chances. We really should have nabbed a goal today. Lazar out to Honda. Oh, Inter are going to break on us. We need to make sure we're first as ball. Romagnoli does get there. We've got a minute left. We probably left it too late to switch to an attacking system. We've got 30 seconds to muster a goal out of somewhere, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And if they score here, I'm going to puke. Luckily, Timo Horn makes the save. And that should be that, because Inter have got a corner. And again, don't want to vomit all over my new computer. There we go, 0-0. It's not the end of the world, but it's not particularly helpful for our push for the Champions League, especially as we've now got to play Juventus. So for the Juventus game, we've gone back to the attacking system that has beaten them twice in the last, 10 weeks. In the semi-final of the Italian Cup, we beat them 3-0 at home using this system. In the quarter-final of the Champions League, we beat them 2-0 at home using this system. We are now at home. We are using this system. We have to win if we've got any chance of being in the Champions League next season. So please, 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 let's win again, please. Milan players. So a few changes just because of the change of system, really. It's going to be Bazoa and Bertolacci in midfield. Ceballos, I don't know how to say it, comes in behind Jose, who comes in up front, and then Honda is going to be out wide on the right. Gets the nod ahead of Niang, just because Niang doesn't seem to have recovered from missing that penalty yet. He's in poor run of form. He's not particularly fit. So we'll give Honda another chance to try and do something special. Danilo's just being rested. Don't worry. Momentum, etc. Is there anyone we know in their team? No, of course there's not, because it's only Juventus And that's the attitude we need to have going into this game. It's only Juventus. What's the worst that could happen? Right, let's go and get a goal right now. Makey, oh, I thought we were going to blooming do it. I mean, Makey is a cross machine. We don't score enough goals from his crosses because our forwards aren't good enough, but his crosses are beautiful. And Jose lets him down a little bit by drifting into an offside position. Right, here we go. Let's whip one in from the other side. Bonaventura loses the ball, and George has pushed on so far that there's a gap behind him, and Horn does well to deny Higuain. And that was the first clear-cut chance of the game. It falls to Juventus after like 2 minutes. This is a little bit different to how it was when we played them in the Champions League and the Italian Cup. They obviously really, really need to win today. They've not got a first leg victory that they can sit back and defend. They've got Inter breathing down their neck in the race for the title. So they want to win this game as much as we do. Although, they've not done the 4-3-1-2 that we usually see them do when they come against. So we're obviously making progress because they feel the need when they're away from home to stick a holding midfielder in and drop a striker. But I mean, it's not particularly helpful. I don't need a pat on the head from Juventus. We need points because we're 3 points behind Fiorentina as of right now, and they've still got a game in hand on us. So, yes, we've still got to play them, but we need to be at least in the position where when we play them, a win is enough to go above them. And if we don't pick up a win today, we're not going to be in that situation. Fiorentina could win every game apart from the one against us. We could win every single game we've got left, and we still don't get in the Champions League. So we need a win today, folks. Right. At what point do I start fiddling and changing? And I mean, we're having another one of those games where the whole attacking creativity, fluid shape nonsense seems to be having a counterproductive effect on the team because we've had 11 shots, but only 3 of them are on target. So, yes, we're attacking. Yes, we're having some possession. Yes, we are shooting, but we're not shooting from positions where we could score from. But something glitched out there. Makey had the ball, then Bonaventura was wheeling away with it. Let's look at it in 3D because I didn't get to see it the first time. Presumably you lot didn't either. So, ball goes out wide to Makey. Is it a Makey special? It must be. Makey whips the cross in. Bonaventura, unmarked, far post. He does it so often. He's the unsung hero of this team. That was probably like his 10th goal of the season, doing just that. And he's done it the whole time we've been at Milan. Pretty good as an inside forward goes. We're 1-0 up with 20 minutes left. Do we go Italian? Or is that just asking for trouble? Right, let's bring Benzema on. Bazoa probably needs to come off. He's struggling a little bit. We're going to bring on Danilo just because stronger in the tackle than Mauri is. I mean, we've got 2 very good young midfielders there. I imagine Mauri will come on in 10 minutes for Bertolacci. That'll probably be my next substitution that I'm planning, unless we need a goal, in which case Niang comes on for Honda. But if we're just defending, yeah, we'll make that change now. Mauri for Bertolacci. I like the fact we've got so many good young midfielders now. With these 2, with Bazoa. Ooh, the future does look bright. I just want to make sure I'm a part of it, and we need to hold on to this win to make sure I am, and then go and beat Fiorentina. Right, we've got the ball. There's 15 seconds left. Surely we can't throw it all away from here. Although now Juventus have got the ball. We sort of won it back, but then let it go again. And there you go. We have a win. Excellent stuff. Makey gets man of the match. We are now 1 point behind Fiorentina. Obviously, if they win that game in hand they've got, we're still in a position where a win against them won't be enough. We need them to fall away somewhere else as well. But at least it keeps us in with a little bit of a chance. If we look at the remaining fixtures, I think probably what we're going to do is I'll play the next one offline, and then the next episode will be Fiorentina-Bologna, and then the last game of the season will be the last episode of the season will be the last game of the season, and the Italian Cup final, because I don't feel the need to suit up for the Italian Cup. It's not a big deal, is it? Surely. So, yeah, we'll do 2 more. It'll be Fiorentina, Bologna, then Pescara, Palermo in the Cup. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we end the season in 3rd place with the Italian Cup in our trophy cabinet, and we survive another year. And then a man called Barbosa arrives. If you've enjoyed that, make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more. And thank you very much for watching.